All right, we got a easy match to close out the week, thankfully. We don't get these very often, so definitely going to take advantage of it. Yeah, we're just going to go up here with Shez, Bop the Four Mortis, and then, take it from there. It should be pretty straightforward. Maybe we can get Edelgard up there as well. Unfortunately, she didn't see a ton of action this week, but the one match that I really used her in, she came in very, very helpful. So definitely a good unit. Just still that issue of trying to move her around the map. She's still not as mobile as I would like her to be. So still something to figure out. But yeah, really good unit, really strong. Just mobility, which is still they've been doing their best to try to improve armor mobility for some time now, with the Edelgards primarily as the test dummies. I think this version is getting closer to what it needs to be, but still, I think it's it needs to be on par with the Flyers. So it needs to be on par with ear superiority for the Edelgards and the armored units that can player face to start really taking advantage of that, of their offensive bulk, of their offensive power, of their defensive bulk. To really take advantage of it, they need to be able to just be hyper mobile. I'm talking like Wings of Mercy 4 built into their kits or into their C slot or wherever, to just have them zoom across the map and have an armor just warp into your face. Just give them the Celica Ring with pass. That's really what armored units need to just take off. And if you give something like that to an Edelgard unit, now we're talking. Now we're in the fun zone, and Master I'm gonna run all 4 Edelgards on offense, and we're just gonna clear maps in 2 minutes. So yeah, I think we'll get there at some point. They're kind of slowly creeping us up. I don't know why they're so afraid of it, because you see the example with no counter disrupt being on a drive support. We finally got it, and it didn't even matter. It hasn't even shifted the meta one bit. It's literally on a C skill on a emblem unit. No one really fodders her for it. It's not even on defense that often. You still don't really see it. And it was one of those things that we really hyped up. If this gets added to the game, it's going to be over. And it was added, and no one really cares. It's primarily because Flash isn't that prominent, and healers aren't at the forefront in terms of being offensive nukes, at least in Ether raids. Maybe in Summoner duels you'll see that, but in Ether raids it's not a thing yet. So maybe if healers ever, get back, if they start giving healers the goods again, maybe we'll start seeing more drive, no counter disrupt on defense. I mean, it was on that Alir, or both of the Alirs, but it just didn't have the impact that it could have because IS is afraid. So hopefully at some point they'll stop being afraid of giving units the goods when they need it. If that no counter disrupt had came out 2 years ago, it would have been the best time for it. But to have it now, kind of just doesn't even make that much of it's not that big of a deal. So honestly, I think Azulgius could have that. He has the warp powder in his Grail version, or is that one in the pool? I forget which one has the warp powder. But yeah, I think he should be the first armored unit to really zoom across the map because it's canonical. Edelgard has the +1 and the charge, but Zalgius really is the zoomer. He's the one that flies all over the place. So I'm looking forward to them doing that. Hopefully they don't mess it up, We will win. Hopefully. But yeah, that's just, I don't know. Let's see if they do it. They're just so afraid of doing the things that will make the game make money. It's so weird, man. Anyways, man, GG's. This one's done. The defense went hard this week. I don't know if I'll be able to fit all of the replays in, but we'll see what I'll do. Alright, here we go with the defense replays for this week. We're going to go through them, try to be a little bit quick, but I mean, still got to try to get through them at the end anyways. I'm going to do all of them, so really what you're going to be seeing here is the Mia show. Mia has been fantastic. So you're going to see a lot from her. And then you're also going to see some, IV action, and Gatekeeper contributed quite a bit as well. So you're going to see quite a slew of characters coming in and helping out to do a job and help us get wins this week. So that's what you're going to be seeing. And in the meantime, what I'll do is I don't know. It's not like a massive change in structure. I think the key addition this week has been Valley and Mia. Valley was not in this first match because I hadn't gotten her yet, but she will be in later. In the secret summoning pool, I found that was the best spot to put her in, so that no one knew that she was there until it was too late. Like, I didn't want someone to load up the map and then see her and then pick their team based off of that. So yeah, she's in the secret summoning hole. She pops out and it's a surprise, and then she just kills everyone. It's like, surprise, murder, and then GG's, we win. Which happened the majority of the time. There's a few matches where at least two matches probably where it didn't really happen that way, but most of the time that's what kind of took place. Yeah, so Valley, also a fantastic addition because of the drive support, close counter and distant counter. Fantastic for the defense that I'm running. It helps Gatekeeper a ton, especially on the start of phase 1, because that was the big negative to running Ike on the defense, because Ike doesn't get his thing until start of turn, which is bad for defense because start of turn is after the opponent has already acted. So needed Gatekeeper to be able to counterattack regardless of range, and Valley enables that. The downside is that sometimes he would end up out of position, and he would be out of drive range and not be able to have that effect regardless, because he was just too far away. But the majority of the time it worked out well. It slowed down, I guess, some of the I didn't even know if it slowed down any of the Camilla plays, but it didn't happen quite as much this week, whereas before, usually just getting wiped a ton by Camilla. But that being said, there is the banner as well that I want to talk about, because I'm editing this after the banner, the reveal of what the emblem and legendary emblem banner is going to be for this month, and I think this is the best banner we've ever gotten in the game. I honestly cannot think of a banner that has been better than this one. It is just that good. This is, I think, the best emblem unit. Yes, this is the best emblem unit by Ather. He is fantastic. The art is really good. The art is fantastic. The blue pops, just the dark shades, the tones, everything about it just looks so great. I think I'll go back to the defense after I'm done talking about this, but for now I'm just going to talk about the banner. But yeah, the blue hues pop so fantastic with Violet's art, the shading, the offensive art where he's attacking, that looks great as well. Yeah, he looks fantastic. Sakura, not so much. She looks a lot like baby Sakura, so it's kind of like the same unit. I don't really see much difference. They could have probably put a little bit more effort. I don't know if it was because it was a Cav unit. Nah, I've seen them put more effort into Cav units. This was a loss. This was a really well-played loss. My opponent played out of his mind here. He did all of the things really well, so no complaints. I think this was the one that we rematched as well. But yeah, Sakura's art is kind of underwhelming, but I mean, she's still a fantastic unit, so it probably shouldn't even matter whatever her art looks like. I don't even know where to begin. Let's start with Sakura, because there's not as much to talk about there. Still a lot, but I guess not as much. Undefended, Flash, ISO. Oh my god. This unit does so much. They gave her every good thing in the game as a status effect, as a penalty. They gave her all of it. And she's... I don't know if this is what's needed for a healer to be good in the current meta, but my god, is she good. I feel like they really went... The thing is, healers typically fell off once they started dying to the counter. They can't live the attack. But Sakura kind of doesn't have that problem because she can hit from the Lin range and essentially just hit for 0, and she has basically the what's that unit? Valley effect, where both of them do 0 damage to each other, and then she just gets to attack again for free, which from her style. And his style is just so dumb. Like it completely negates everything that you've known about defense building, which is to put your bulkiest units in the front. I guess you can still put your bulkiest units in the front, but it doesn't matter because you can still, like I said, hit the Lin range and hit the unit behind whoever you have in front, so that it doesn't even matter. And then when supported with someone like Embla or Dimitri or anyone that can inflict undefended as a stat penalty to help her out on turn 1, she can even hit the back row. So yeah, Sakura is it Sakura? No, not Sakura. Elise is so I've been saying Sakura the whole time. Elise is so very, very good, man. She is a range nuke to some extent because she's a healer, which gives her a lot of options in that regard. And then there's a new healing special as well. I think, if I remember correctly, some damage reduction in there for healers. So that's on the table now, flat DR for healers. And she's not necessarily geared towards getting her special off because she just does so much damage, or she does no damage. Her key playstyle is to put down the penalties and debuffs that she has available in her kit. So that's really what you're going to be using for to get the undefended there, kind of like what you do right now in Astra Season with Elm. That's what you're going to be doing with Elise. You're going to be getting that undefended and feud, and you're going to be just attacking. And then on top of that, once you've attacked, she can also alter the terrain, put down Deadly Miasma, and get rid of that ice that I've been talking about, how annoying that ice has been to deal with. And the big upside about Elise as well is that she doesn't have to move. You just hit the style and she attacks from Lin range, like all the way on your side of the map. So that's another positive in her favor. She's a cav that doesn't have to move, that attacks with flash. Because we do have the Dazzling as an option, as a seal that she can get. So that's definitely something that I'll more than likely be looking to give her. Because her weapon is the Wrathful variant, meaning that it calculates damage like other weapons. So she definitely needs Dazzling to... what's the word? Well, she doesn't even need it. If you're using the Lin style thing, she doesn't even need it because everyone's doing 0 damage. And then after she attacks, she attacks, put down Flash, Isolation, Deadly Miasma, Undefended, and once she's put down all of those things, she can attack again and potentially take out whoever it is that she's initiated into. So you can argue that she probably doesn't even need the Dazzling Staff. You could just run something else on her to get more damage or more bulk, whichever you see fit. But that's probably the version that I would go with just for consistency. Granted, I don't even think, I don't know how much we'll be seeing her because everyone's kind of orb dry right now. When I say everyone, I primarily mean myself. But a lot of people probably don't have orbs, and because this is a double mythic, the chances of you getting everyone is kind of low. There's someone that you're probably going to miss out on. So, and then of course they're both, like, looking at the release schedule, where we are and where Hero Rises is. Both of these 2 units will make it onto that banner because they are just that good. Both of them are so powerful that you can't ignore them. And I don't know if IS is doing this intentionally so that we vote them in onto the AHR banner, because as a way to kind of control our thinking process, our thought process. I don't know if this is, maybe if these units came out a little bit earlier, we would be thinking something different. But in terms of whether or not they would, I think they would have still, like, let's say they came out like on the Halloween or a little bit before the Halloween. I think they still would have made the end of year. It's not end of the year. The AHR banner. I think they're just that great of a unit. And it's not even to be forgotten how, again, Sakura. I keep keep calling her Sakura. At least will shake up defense in the sense that, I think it was like last week, I was saying how no kind of disrupt is a skill that is just readily available on pretty much, like, you can have it now. It's available in the C skill. You can give it to your infantry units, and it's also available on units themselves as support in reference to the Alliers, the fallen Alliers. And now it's looking like that will be relevant again to some extent. Well, actually, to a large extent, because she does put down flash, so she is going to be able to prevent your units from counterattacking. Once she initiates, which she always will do, and she always will be able to do that initiation safely without fear of dying. You can set it up so that you have NCD and retaliate, but she won't die, which is an interesting application of the Valley effects onto a unit that is, supportive in nature, I guess you could say, because Valley is more of an offensive threat. Grant, the miracle for Valley is really more so to prevent her from, or not the miracle, the zero. But then the thing about Valley's is that hers has a support condition, whereas Elise doesn't. It's just she gets to attack, which is like, she gets to attack for free. You can't do anything about it. And also, I don't see them putting a counter to that at any point in the future, because it's going to be like a key point of her playstyle. I don't really see a way how you can write an effect to counter unit takes 0 damage. Like, how do you even write something to counter that? And that's the key part of her style. So even if that goes into the future, I don't see her falling off because of that particular effect in her style. So she will last a very, very long time. And then, I don't know, how do you even counter that on, that's what I'm thinking. How do you even counter that on defense with the Alliers? Do you now have to run both of the fallen Alliers, or just, pick one? Or do you now have to run someone someone that can run that, what's it called? I forget what the C skill is called that gives you the null kind of disrupt. The one on Emblem Micaiah. Do you now have to run that on an infantry unit? Does the value of the Corn Ring change now? Because if the terrain is going to go away, then what's the point of bringing it, Is it just... But also, I guess you could argue that, like I said, everyone won't have the unit. But then, like I said also, I said a lot of things. The unit is more than likely going to be on a Hero Rises, and that banner will be available to be pulled on for a very long time. So I'm pretty sure that even if you miss picking up the unit on this particular legendary emblem banner, the opportunity will come again on a Hero Rises, which will be a banner that will be around longer. So there's at least 2 chances. You're going to get 2 chances to get the unit. At least in particular, because she's on colorless, will probably be a little bit more difficult to pick up, because that is just a cesspool. No one likes to go there. So it just, I do think, and because she's a legendary as well, she has roles outside of just Ether Race. You're going to need her for arena and stuff. So, but also, cesspool. If I were gonna I'm gonna summon, if I get totally bad luck, I'll probably just pick up Elise, because of the fact that I don't like summoning for colorless units. But Byleth is the better unit. I would recommend picking up Byleth if you have the option to. Here we go with Mia again, just being an absolute menace. She's so good. But yeah, there's just, she at least will have a ton of longevity. I don't see them introducing a way to counter her style. Valley's miracle thing, her sister, I forget what it's called, that already has counters in the game. There are ways that you can turn that off, but I don't see them introducing ways to turn off Valley's style effect. You're just going to have to deal with it on defense, which means the terrain is gone for Corrin. I mean, it'll still be it's not the entire map, which was what the Corrin Ring does, but it's going to be difficult. And it means that, what's her name? Camilla is back on the menu 100%, because you can just hit I guess the only way you can really like slow it down is with Heimdallr, but then that also has counterplay to it as well. There's like, not a lot you can really do to. Yeah, the Heimdallr, I don't think that's the perfect strategy. Yeah, I don't think that's the perfect strategy. Running Heimdallr there. I don't know, man. I don't know what you do about it. You're just gonna get hit on defense. You're just gonna have to depend on your units to be bulky enough to survive whatever comes after Sakura attacks, and it's more than likely going to be a Camilla. So who do you put in the front? Someone that can survive Camilla? There aren't that many units that can do that, especially when they're getting hit with undefended. Flash, in particular, these are additional statuses as well. So Camilla's damage is only going to increase because of these additional statuses that are going to be added, because that's how Camilla's weapon works, of course. So it's just compounding the effects and compounding the eventual results of Camilla just destroying your defense, which she's already doing, but she's going to be able to do that with more consistency now. So I don't know, man. It's like, what comes after this to try to balance the game again? Because this is definitely a swing all the way back in the favor of offense. Defense has been, doing fairly well for. It's been even. I don't want to say defense has been like overpowered. It's been even. The Corn Ring has slowed us down quite a bit, but it's not necessarily like something that has made it impossible to play the game mode. But man, we've really swung back into offensive favor now with the introduction of this Sakura, because there's just, you can't do anything. I'm gonna, there's gonna be a ton of testing. It's gonna be interesting to see what ideas people try to come up with, but I gotta tell you, man, a lot of it just probably won't work, because it's basically Elm on every season now, is what it is. And there's no way for you to cleanse that mid-turn debuff as of this point, unless that's what they introduce, some way for defenses to cleanse these type of mid-turn debuffs. Like, let's say a unit were to attack, and then let's say after that unit's attack or movement, penalties are introduced. Let's say you have like a new Micaiah that cleanses those type of penalties or prevents two of them from going off. That could be something that they introduce in the future, but I don't know. That's just me trying to come up with ideas of how this could potentially, how this problem could potentially be solved. It's just so bad. It's so bad for defense, and that's just the standpoint that I'm looking at it from, because I enjoy that particular aspect of the game. Ather here actually doing very well in terms of tanking Valley at the very least, but I mean, she still dies eventually. I mean, but to survive the first hit is pretty good, commendable. I sometimes forget that Ather is a thing, because it's not necessarily power creep we just have better saves. She's still a good save. Like, if you give her support, shield fighter and the like, she can probably survive a ton of things, but we just have better save options that we don't have to put that much investment into for them to work. That's really where the fall off came from, not that she's a bad unit, which is the same thing that's currently happening to Rhea. But yeah, I digress. Sakura, man, I keep calling her Sakura. Elise, I don't know what we're gonna do. It's just the combination of effects, man. The combination of effects are perfect. The terrain manipulation as well, perfect. And that's not something I would have anticipated coming from a healer. Definitely creative. I like that design space. It gives healers more value. Hopefully they do more of that with some additional healers in the game. That's going to be interesting. But so far they've only had Ice Lock. So to see that she has Ice Lock as well as Deadly Miasma. So, man, she has so much. So to see this introduction to the game as a shift in the directions that healers can go, it's definitely a positive thing. hopefully we see more healers come out like this, with skills like this, with refines that are in this vein, that can help them long term and keep them viable. Like Legendary Sakura, of course, with Salvage being like the only unit to this point that still has that effect, will still have long-term viability because of that. It's such a fantastic effect. It pairs fantastically with Celica, Emblem Celica. And that's like one of the things that I was doing this Tempest Trials, just Celica and Sakura paired together, and just being able to clear the Tempest Trial with that combination. I think those two are a perfect fit. Or if there's ever another unit with Salvage, it's going to be perfect with Celica. The only problem the Emblem Celica currently has is damage output. She's just not able to consistently kill the bulkiest units, and she also gets stuck once she warps in. But Salvage really just remedies that completely. So yeah, Sakura will always have value because of that effect, and I can see the same thing happening for this Elise because of the terrain alteration, because of the flash, because of the undefended. Those are just fantastic effects. Like, where are we going to be in the game where these things are not going to be good anymore? And not even that, there's so many of them that at least one of them will retain value. So they, like I said, man, they threw the kitchen sink at this Elise to make her good, and she is definitely that. She is good, and she's going to be good at least until Brave. Maybe they throw a wrench in there on that banner and give us something completely new and unexpected that we just have no answer for. We'll have no answer for. But yeah, the no counter disrupt thing, that's a big deal. I don't know what we're going to do about what they're going to, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do about that. That's still such a big deal because being hit with Flash, having to run, like, the Ather isn't a bad unit, or if you were to run Micaiah, not a bad unit either. It's just, it's an extra slot on defense, and you'd rather not use it up for something like that. But it's definitely gone up in value, in my opinion. 100% gone up in value because of this Elise being added to the game. Why is she so strong? Like, I'm just looking at her and I'm like, why now? Why make this addition to the game now? This is something that we needed a year ago in terms of making healers this good. So I really am wondering what made them make the decision to add this unit to the game at this current moment. It's not like, it's not in line with power creep for healers. She's just so much better than every other healer except Sakura that we've gotten to this point. It's just so bizarre that she's this good. I can't understand it. But nonetheless, I think that's about all that I can say about her for right now. Let's talk a bit about Byleth as well, who he is also fantastic. As you see, my second, or is this third? I forget. I lost count, but I lost the speed check here, and once that happens, you're just not going to win. Byleth here with the value support. Just able to outspeed all of my units, and I couldn't beat him. If he had pair up as well, so far any unit with pair up is really just able to cleanly dismantle my defense. They just get so fast. If I had additional hits there, I would have been able to win against this Byleth, but lost the speed check, unfortunately. So he has Elamine giving him speed, the Mythics giving him speed supports, Lotona, I guess, from Hortensia, who I will obviously get an ult at some point and will probably be just as good or as close to the Elite that we've just gotten. But yeah, he wins on the speed diff here. Maybe if Mia was on the map early turn, I probably could have swung, she probably would have won the speed check there, but the map isn't set up like that. What about Elise on defense? Is she a unit that's going to be added to defenses as well? So like, if you how do you play against that if Elise is on defense? Well, I mean, I guess you can just player phase still, because they need basically tanking is dead. You just don't want to tank anything. So we're just going to see more play. It's encouraging more player phase strategy still. You still don't want to be tanking anything with someone like Elise potentially running at you. Yeah, player phase all the way. Still on the board. That's the main strategy now for Ether Raids, which I guess they are saying that Ether Raids is dead, which, I mean, it's still competitive. It swings back and forth in the meta. Depending on who you run into, you can have a challenging day. But I think this is definitely a swing in offense's favor, especially with this Byleth. Like I said, man, he's so. I think this Byleth is the best unit in the game. I don't even want to class him as a support unit. I think he's a fantastic nuke as well, because you can scale damage output on range units to infinity and beyond with support. So yeah, I think this Byleth is the best unit in the game. Yeah, he's going to be for a while. Like, the thing that I said about dancers a little bit ago was that dancers are pointless if they can't dance twice. I think I was saying that about the new Azura. Being able to dance from 2 range is irrelevant because you only get to dance once. Unless you come in on a summoning circle, then you can dance 2 times. But still, you're looking really at 1 dance. And until dancers are able to dance twice without a harmonic button, because every dancer can't be a dual harmonic, then dancers are completely irrelevant. And now this Byleth has made it so I think he can do it 3 times. Am I mistaken? Could be, but yeah, he has a ton of actions, and at the minimum 2, I want to say. And he's exactly that, a dancer that can dance twice. He can nuke your face off. He can provide fantastic support. He scales well with stat ball teams. If you use him on defense, his ring is going to be so much of a problem on defense, because that's another thing that's kind of very similar to the Micaiah ring, but instead of, gravity, you just get to move again, which is a fantastic combination with pivots. I gotta say, you pivot into that unit, it's going to be so nice as a trap on defense, running this Byleth. I don't even know if you want him to be on the starting team or if you want him to come in on that extra circle. Offense on the extra circle, having the Byleth is going to be fantastic as well, because he just will move across. That's so much action economy. I think he's on, if not above, Plumeria's level, and I think dual Plumeria is best support in the game as a dancer. So Byleth is on or above that level as a dancer, and then I just think overall he's the best unit in the game. You got Camilla and you got Ivy, but Byleth is just this is a superior unit. I don't know what this means for the game, man, because this is power creep, similar in vein to the Neath Hoggers that we got last year, and it just pushes the meta forward in a way that I don't know when we're gonna catch up. What does the Valentine's banner have in store for us if this is the current level of units that we're getting? They keep doing this when they don't have to, and on top of it, it's 2 units. It could have just been Byleth on this banner. You didn't have to put 2 units here on this level. It could have just been Byleth. You could have released Elise, or it could have just been Elise. Well, timetables, I guess this is an emblem month, but you could have just released Elise a little bit later. Granted, it probably wouldn't have been received as well, because the longer you wait to put out something like that, it's the less value it's going to have, because like I said, if they put out this Elise last year, she would have been fantastic, and then she'd still have longevity because of her ability to alter terrain. So that would have played really well into the Corrin Ring meta that we're currently in, but I guess, whatever, she's out now. But this is a definite power jump. What does it mean for the game? Where will this bring us in the future? What does it mean for the Valentine's banner, which is typically the strongest banner, one of the strongest banners of the year, alongside that thing that we vote for, CYL and Halloween and ninjas. Yeah, Valentine's banner is usually up there. So what are we going to be getting there? What new thing will they be introducing alongside this to just shake up the meta of the entire game? This is I'm very surprised. The devs actually cooked. The devs really went into the lab and cooked with these 2 unit releases, and wow, I did not anticipate them putting out a counter to the corn terrain so quickly, which is essentially what this release is. And then this is additional action economy on this Byleth. I didn't think they would put out the Dancer emblem ring so quickly either, but I guess it's in line. The last one we got was Edelgard, so I guess it's in line with the action economy meta that's currently ongoing. But you could have also put the Roy ring in there just to shake things up a bit, because Roy would naturally want something like no counter disrupt to kind of survive against the Elise thing that's going to be happening, and Roy would also be a fantastic frontliner that you could potentially have no counter disrupt the C skill on, or the B skill, what's it called? I forget the one that's on Byleth. So Roy would have been a good addition right here as well, to put on the front line. Him being red, he probably would be able to survive against Camilla. Elise also has Neutralize Miracle, and you can equip her with Fatal Smoke 4 so that she can neutralize Miracle even more. 3x3 support on that, so she just has to stand there, and then Camilla can go in and do her thing. Boy. But yeah, back to Byleth. Do we really need more actions? Do we really need more actions at this point? How do you fit him into a team? What team is he going to be on? Who is he supporting? I think he paired really well with Edelgard. Yeah, I think he would pair really well with Edelgard. And Edelgard as a dancer herself. What ring are you running? I run the Celica ring on Edelgard, but I don't think that's the optimal thing. I run it because sometimes she just can't get into range, and honestly, I'm probably just going to not use the unit altogether. But I think this Byleth ring makes her, could potentially be a good option on her, because she get to dance, pivot over someone, and then position herself properly, so you wouldn't have to waste the reposition on her. She can just do it herself, position herself properly, re-enable the action of a unit, and then move forward from there, take out some additional units. It's kind of similar to it's basically just running a ring that would get her into position better. So this is an option for her, but I don't know if that's that best choice. Oblivion was talking about Sharena, running it on Sharena, giving her additional action economy there. I don't know if you really need that from Sharena. Sharena already does so much. The Brave version and the other one that I didn't get, which I still would, if I could go back, I'd probably, no, I think at the time I didn't have any orbs, so that's why I didn't get her, and I think the banner was bad. But that's an option. You can put it on Sharena as well. I don't necessarily think you want to space those things out a bit. Have each member of your team have support? No, that's not the word. Have each member of your team be useful. And I think you could probably put that ring on someone else. What does it mean for Plumeria? What does it mean for Plumeria and Peony, our mainstays on Aether's offense? Does this mean that Plumeria and Peony are done? No. Because the thing is, you only get one dance out of each of them. And if that one dance is then moved to another unit, then why bring Plumeria and Peony? Aside from their mythic value, of course. Dancers are, I have to, like I've been saying, alongside, hearing from Oblivion and some others as well, at a all-time low in value. Definitely need to dance twice. Does this ring allow them to dance? No, it's the positional. It doesn't work that way. I don't know, man. This might be the end for Peony and Plumeria. That makes me kind of sad. Oh, man. Who do you replace that with? Yeah, I guess, of course, you could run a different mythic. A lot of people have been doing that so far. But, because it's a positional, versus them, the dancers, Plumeria and Peony just moving in and dancing from wherever they are instead of like pivoting over, swapping. They're different. Swap would be the best, thing to use with the ring. I want to say. I don't know, man. There's so much to talk about. There's so many changes that are going to happen. This is what we got for live season. I don't have any of these units, I don't think, so I'm going to have to run, I don't know, Umera maybe? If not Sakura, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, man. This has been a really long video. I'm sorry I yapped so much, but GG's. See you in the next one.